Here's a little cold start for you. Sounds nice. Hello everybody, this is the 2022 BMW M440i, and I've been spending the last week with it. It's an awesome Grand Coupe from BMW. Now, I know there's a lot of opinions on the styling, and I have my own thoughts on it as well. And why don't you leave yours in some comments below. Styling issues aside that I don't quite love, this thing is a wonderful daily driver. The powertrain is magnificent. The engine and the transmission pairing is wonderful, and I've really enjoyed my time with it. And per the usual, BMW's driving dynamics are excellent, especially in sport mode. So today I want to walk you around. I want to show you the exterior, I'll show you the interior, I'll take you for a drive, and we'll talk if the BMW M440i Grand Coupe is a good choice or not for your money.
Hey Finn, what are your favorite parts of the car?
The brakes.
Those are awesome. What else do you like?
The back of the car.
The back?
Mm-hmm. You show how it opens.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
What else do you like?
I like the front of the car because I like the colors every time it says a BMW, and I really like the engine. Do you want to show them the engine?
Yeah, let's show them the engine.
In the engine compartment for us. Pull harder. Pull again. Good job.
Open it up, Finn. Great job.
Look at that. It says a BMW inside the engine of the car. That's so cool. And what are the parts called of the engine?
The key is cool, but it does feel a little cheap, but I like that M striping there. Pretty awesome. So as far as the interior goes, you have these interesting handles, which they look cool how flush they are, but I'm gonna be honest, they're not my favorite. There's not much to grip under there, and a few times my fingers have just kind of slid out. But I mean, they look cool. And you have these frameless doors with the windows that come down when you open the door. And in typical BMW fashion, the interior is just gorgeous. The seats are incredible, they're well bolstered, very supportive. This Sensitech leather or leatherette is really nice. No complaints. I still think that the gauges are more cool looking than they are functional. It's tough to see the speed without looking at like the big numbers, and it's even more difficult to tell the RPMs over here on the right. Here, I'll show you right now. Switching to sport mode. And you can see, you know, it's not terrible, but it is difficult at a glance to tell exactly where we're at, especially with the RPMs. But it looks cool. I see what they're going for. It's just not my style, but it is cool. The infotainment is pretty nice. It's a wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It connects really well, almost too well. Sometimes I don't want it to connect and it just does automatically, but yeah, you've got your standard BMW center stack here with a mix of buttons and the touchscreen, and you have the dial, which, you know, I didn't use this at all, to be honest. I just used the touchscreen, so I wonder if there's a greater use of space that could happen here. I mean, I see the advantage of having some buttons like the home button, but overall, I didn't really use it. You do have these different drive modes, which I found very helpful. It defaults into comfort mode, and so I found myself hitting sport mode every time for reasons I'll explain more in the driving section, but I did like having those. Electronic parking brake, you got your traditional BMW shifter here, and overall, I love the BMW interiors, and I think more than anybody really, BMW's steering wheels are just stunning. They're so well designed. You have this cool little M badge because it's the M440i, but their steering wheels are great. It feels so good. Like, they're some of my very favorites. The paddles are nice. They even have some grippy texture on the back here, so you can better, you know, shift when driving aggressively, especially. But yeah, just great. You've got nice ambient lighting all along here, and you have ambient lighting that comes down from up here. So overall, I'm a big fan still. Even if this design's been around for a while for BMW, I still really like it. Coming into the back seat here, we've got Finn in his booster. And how comfortable are you, Finn?
Good.
You're good? Is it comfortable back there?
Mm-hmm.
Nice job. What do you think about this BMW? Do you like the inside?
Mm-hmm.
What are some of your favorite parts?
The back door.
Back door?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the doors are nice, and they have this nice Harman Kardon stereo, which sounds really great. Cool speaker there, and Finn's got plenty of legroom. And I'll come around and I'll show you how much room I have in the back. So my wife and I, we're both 5'9", my wife and I, and me sitting behind myself. There is like a bit of a curve here when you get in that kind of impedes on your room, but sitting back here, I've got decent legroom. It's not anything crazy. I will say that the headroom is less than I expected. I mean, look at that. There's really only a couple inches there. So if you're a tall person, you may want to lower your seat or lean it back, but I'm kind of surprised, well, not totally surprised given it's the Grand Coupe, but not a ton of legroom and not a ton of headroom either. But here's the view from the back here. You can just tell BMW is just so good with their interiors. I love it. All right, let's go out for a drive. I've been driving this for a week, about 300 miles. I'll give you my final impressions and give you some thoughts on the driving experience and if this M440i is worth your consideration and your money. Thanks everybody for watching. See you on the drive. All right, so starting off in the 2022 BMW M440i, let's get this thing on the road and see what it's like. So I've spent a week now with the BMW M440i, and I know everybody has opinions on the styling, especially the front grille, so I'll save those for when I show you the exterior. But as far as how this thing drives, I've got some thoughts, and let me try to break it down for you in hopefully a succinct way. But this powertrain is wonderful. It's so nice, and this turbo 6-cylinder is just incredible, and you know, it almost makes 400 horsepower and similar torque numbers. I believe this is the same engine or very close to what's in the Z4 and the Toyota Supra, and it's pretty cool. It's almost, you almost feel like you're driving a 4-door Supra. Obviously this is a lot larger and it's you know, heavier and all that, but still it's kind of like a 4-door Supra. It's BMW. I've driven a few BMWs and several, and the thing that always impresses me with these newer ones is just the tuning with the engine and transmission pairing is so good. Like, you can probably hear it downshifting as I slow down. I have it in sport mode right now, which I'll talk more about that in just a minute, but in general, this ZF 8-speed automatic is tuned beautifully, and it goes so well with this engine. The power delivery is just seamless. There's a tiny little hybrid aspect to it to kind of get you off the line before the turbos kick in, so there's no lag, and it's just the smoothest. Just I mean, this is where BMW really shines. It's the power plant in here, and it's coupling to this amazing transmission is lovely to drive around in. It's fast too. I don't see any reason. I mean, even BMW is kind of going away from their like dual clutch, you know, setup. With this transmission, I feel like everything should have this transmission. Like, and have BMW tune it, because it's just great. Like, it shifts so quick and it's smooth and it's intuitive. I never really have to guess what it's gonna do. It's yeah, I can't say enough good things about this engine transmission. I mean, this sounds crazy. I mean, personally, I almost want even a little bit more power, but I mean, nobody needs it. I mean, this thing makes plenty of power. It's really fast. I mean, the 0 to 60 is like 3.8. And so it's blindingly fast. I took a coworker for a ride in it the other day, and you know, kind of hammered the throttle around a corner, and we weren't even going very fast, but just the acceleration, the rush from it was had him, you know, kind of squealing. It was awesome. But kind of like a Ford versus Ferrari moment there. But anyway, the power plant is just so good. And I will say something though too about the different drive modes. And first of all, the drive modes are pretty sweet. Like, especially with sport, it's completely customizable. For you to you can customize the throttle response, you can customize the dampening, you can customize the transmission, and pretty much just make this car customized to whatever you want it to be like, and which is really cool. So right now, I think I have the suspension in comfort mode, and I have the throttle in Sport Plus, and I have the transmission in Sport, and I feel like it's the perfect like Goldilocks scenario. Gives you really great throttle response, great acceleration. Meanwhile, the ride is very comfortable. Like, I would love to road trip in this thing. It's so awesome. What is interesting though is you put this in comfort, which is its default setting, and it is a completely different car. And for my taste and preference, I didn't love it in comfort mode. I've kept it in sport like probably 80% of the time I've been driving this thing, and I feel like it's just a much better car in sport. In comfort, the steering felt very loose and like surprisingly loose. The throttle was okay, and the transmission, I don't know, the transmission was good. It almost just didn't seem happy to be kind of just taking things like so lackadaisically. And so I found that keeping it in sport, especially this kind of customized sport mode, is the way to go with this thing. Because I did not really enjoy driving it in comfort. Like, I thought, man, if I was buying this car and I wasn't really into sport mode, I don't know that I'd be sold just on comfort mode. I mean, the interior is beautiful. I mean, absolutely. I think that BMW is doing interiors probably better than most luxury brands right now, and their seats are second to none. Like, it's just a joy to spend time in these seats. I love them. They're the same seats that were in the X3, the sport seats that were in the X3 that I had recently. And it's just a great place to spend time. And yeah, the interior is really interesting. It's really beautiful. But yeah, if I was gonna buy this car, $67,000, and just keep it in comfort mode, I think some people might be disappointed. But hey, you throw it in sport mode and the thing just wakes up. You get all sorts of awesome like burbles from the exhaust. The engine note is a little bit louder. Some of it's piped in, but I don't really care. I'm one of those guys that I don't care if it's piped in. I think it sounds cool. And anyway, it just sounds better. It feels better. The steering is way heavier and like just tighter in sport mode. So you really kind of have like two different cars in one. And so if you were to buy this and just drive it in comfort, again, I don't know that you're going to be thrilled with your purchase unless you're completely just a die-hard BMW. Like, I love it. I'm just going to buy it no matter what. There might be other cars that are even more comfortable and give a better, more rewarding experience if you're just going for something that's comfort. However, you throw this thing into sport mode, and if you're looking for a sports sedan with pretty good handling and a magnificent powertrain, I think you're going to be pretty happy. This delivers. It doesn't deliver, full-on M performance, but it's not that far off. I mean, the next step up would be to get like a full-on M3 or M4, and you're going to have, more power, which is fun, but it's just more. It's just more. And if you don't need that, then as a sports grand coupe, maybe it's not even really a sedan, right? This is pretty good if you're sold on the styling. And I don't want to belabor that point because everybody has really strong opinions on the styling. But I'll show you, the exterior, and you've already seen it by now in this video, and you can decide for yourself what you think. Some people love it, some people hate it. I personally, it's not my favorite thing that BMW has ever done. I think if I were buying a, four-door sporty car, I would be more interested in the M340i, which kind of has the more traditional look, whereas the M440i has the new giant, beaver teeth kind of looking grille, which again, some people really like. I think the headlights are cool. I love the paint. This green paint is sweet. It has really nice like orangey and gold flecks in it. But yeah, driving this thing has been a joy. It's been really fun, especially if you just are hammering on this thing. You'll just be blown away by the acceleration. It's great. I mean, if more cars had powertrains like what this has, you know, the engine and transmission, I think people would really love driving their cars. But it's kind of like you get this Jekyll and Hyde, but not that extreme, but you do kind of get two different cars in one. And it just depends on what you're buying this for, and which I think will determine your level of happiness with it when you're spending, you know, almost $70,000 on it. I will say though, even driving this thing, you know, in sport mode this whole week, I seem to be getting pretty great gas mileage. I think I'll show you the window sticker, but I think it's rated in the mid-20s on the highway, and that definitely seems to be reflected here, which I'm really happy about, especially how much power this thing, you know, produces. So anyway, that's kind of my thoughts on, you know, just driving this and my driving impressions for a week. I'm so interested to know in the comments if you are going to buy this or you want to, what's pulling you towards the M440i, especially over the M340i with the more traditional styling. So let me know in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. I always feel dumb for asking this, but I'm kind of just starting to grow this, and if you wouldn't mind, you know, just subscribing and liking this video and liking my other videos, that'd be a huge help, and I'd really appreciate it. But until next time, yeah, enjoy and let us know below what's bringing you to the M440i. Thank you so much, BMW. It's been so nice to spend time at this thing last week. I'll see you guys soon. We'll see ya.